Oh my god. I just realized somebody has actually read this and like consciously made the decision to reject me. So it is 7:45 p.m. and I just woke up. I was supposed to take a 15-minute power nap and it turned into a 5.5-hour sleep. So I'm here, my name is Zaya, because I tried a face mask and made my face break out. But then I realized I'm only human, everybody breaks out. It's not that big of a deal. Just film a video if you want to, and I really want to, so here I am. So Zaya, what is this video going to be about? Well, zoomed in, flipped me. About 6 months ago, I made a video titled Opening Up About My UC Santa Cruz Rejection. Let's talk about college admissions, which is a pretty bold title, not gonna lie. And in that video, I outlined, well, getting rejected from my dream school, which was UC Santa Cruz. I wanted to make that video to tell my experience of getting rejected and kind of how it happened, and also the life lessons that I learned from that video. So I did not go into the application at all in the video. And based on the comments of that video, a lot of people did want to see what was in the application. Now, one of the big reasons that I did graze over the application is simply because I didn't know what was in that application. And I didn't know that there was any way that I could look at it. What I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be looking at my rejected application from UC Santa Cruz. This is the nitty-gritty people want to see. People don't want to hear about how getting rejected made me a better person. I have not seen this application since November 30th of 2017, so I have no idea what's in here. I try to block out as much of high school as I possibly can, so this is going to be kind of also like a reaction video. Ooh. I applied to 3 different... Yeah, I did. Okay, so I applied to UC Davis. I think I forgot to totally mention this, but I was also rejected from UC Davis, so applied to UC Merced, which I did get into, and I almost did accept it, but I didn't. And then UC Santa Cruz, of course, where I was ultimately rejected from. I said my career plan was business, but I was applying for psychology and poli-sci, so I'm just gonna flash my high school grades here if you want to take a look at them. I got a lot of questions about them, so here they are. Here's my 9th grade year, here's my 10th grade year, here's my 11th grade year, and here's my 12th grade year. I'm not gonna go into breaking down because I don't want this video to be 8 hours long. I feel like I wasn't the person who was so involved in my studies because I had a lot of like extraneous circumstances. Yes, that's a word. I graduated with a 3.95 weighted GPA because I did take college classes also. That is the GPA that I applied with, and I was rejected, by the way. I don't think I can put any of this in here because this really is just showing where I live. There were some clubs and volunteer, and I was very average when it comes to that. I think a lot of people are getting their community service hours and doing like clubs and sports and stuff like that, and that was like me. No, to SAT scores. I only took the SAT once in high school, and I remember I was panicking the summer before my senior year because I realized I had not taken the SAT yet. So I took it in August of 2017, and I studied all summer. I did those little Khan Academy things every single day. I did the practice tests every single Saturday, and for what? I go to community college. I literally didn't have to do any of that. So my score was a 1320, which is not like bad, but not like great. I got a 680 on the evidence-based reading and writing, and a 640 in math. Other ones I don't really care about. Oh, the essay sub scores. Oh my gosh, I would not do the essay ones because I didn't want to write. And the essay I did bad on. My AP exams are here. Studio art I got a 3. English language and composition I got a 2. US history I got a 3, and world history I got a 4. Do with that what you will. All right, good stuff that we came for. The personal insight questions. I have not read these since November 30th of 2017, and so a little bit of context into kind of where my mind was when I was writing these. I do remember I wrote these like 3 days before the actual application was due. I read these over with an admissions representative from UC Santa Cruz, and they were like, yeah, those are great. I tried to make myself seem like I wasn't this like typical star student who would be applying. Like I was like quirky and stuff like that. I don't know, or I was like honest. What would you say is your greatest talent or skill? How have you developed and demonstrated that talent over time? Ooh. I was introduced to drawing and the art. I remember my high school writing, I was very wordy. I liked to rearrange my sentences in weird ways. I don't know why, so this is gonna be a challenge to read. I was introduced to drawing in the art room at my elementary school. From the moment I picked up the pencil, I knew that drawing was what I loved to do. It did not take long for me to start building off the lessons taught in the classroom on my own time. That's also not a sentence. I began making it a point to work in my sketchbook every day, regardless of how inspired or uninspired I felt. When I was in 1st grade, I had my first piece of art shown shown in an art show. It was a smudgy looking fruit bowl drawn using oil pastel, but I was pleased. A year later, another smudgy still life was selected to be displayed somewhere in the state capitol building in Sacramento. That's also true. Wow, I peaked in like 1st and 2nd grade, where it stayed for roughly 6 years. As the years progressed and my skills improved, more pieces would be selected for shows and I would make the newspaper a couple times. Ooh, ooh, fancy. Most people are probably out here like writing about like, I don't know, quantum mechanics and like build robots and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, I know how to draw. Like, I was even selected as Artist of the Month. Oh my god. That's just a random capitalized word in the middle. No wonder I got rejected. For April 2017 edition. I remember I was not able to find that magazine, but I do know that I was in it. While these accomplishments made great topics to discuss at family gatherings, I don't have family gatherings. I should probably cut that out. They never stopped me from practicing every single day in my sketchbook because I knew that no matter what, there needs to be a comma somewhere in there. That I know that no matter what, I can always improve somewhere. Occasionally, I will take a moment to look in the box filled with sketchbooks and be filled with pride at my growth. I don't have a box filled with sketchbooks. Oh my god, that is the biggest stretch ever. I have like a sketchbook that probably has like 3 pieces in it that are completed, and like if you know anything about me in like art, I can't finish anything that I start, so that was a stretch. Now I draw certain objects more easily than I did a year ago. It also gives me a drive to step outside my comfort zone because I know that with enough practice, I can take my skills beyond where they are now. Here's the thing, like that wasn't great. Can we just be honest? Like that wasn't good. The grammatics were weird. It was just about like some kid who like knows how to draw like mediocre, smudgy looking still lifes. Like give me some more content. That was just boring. All right, so describe how you've taken advantage of a significant educational opportunity or works to overcome an educational barrier you have faced. For the entirety of my high school years, I was always told that I would be going to college right after high school, but nobody ever told me what to expect when I get there. Sometimes teachers would briefly mention that everything is going to be much more difficult, but they would never give me any further guidance on how to prepare myself and how to make the transition as smooth as possible. That is so true. I was not ready for college at all. Transition was rough. Because of this, it was hard for me to get excited about life after high school. Oh, I'm so happy I left high school. High school was literally like the worst years of my life. Towards the end of my junior year, there was a presentation about a program called, basically the program allowed students to attend their senior year at a community college campus while earning college credit at the same time. By the end of the presentation, I was on the fence about doing the program, but I took an application anyways and figured I would make my mind up before the deadline. That's really good to put in there, that you just can't make up your mind about anything ever. Like that sends a good message. Good job, Zaya. About a week before the deadline, my guidance counselor called me into his office and managed to talk me into doing the program. So wow, I'm easily persuaded too. I turned in my application, found out I was accepted to the program, and honestly, I was terrified. For so long, I had heard only bad things about college, and here I was throwing myself into a college setting. After my first day of school, I went home thinking there was no way I was going to be able to stay in the program. That's true, but what I didn't mention here is I didn't have any other choice to leave the program because my parents moved, so I couldn't like just go back to my old school because my parents didn't live there anymore. Fast forward to now, I can honestly say I'm thriving in a college environment as a senior in high school. It seems like everything I am doing in my classes is benefiting my future in some way, and I love it. I took like an elementary school math class and like an art class. Like calm down, Zaya. I've gained so much in such a short time, but the greatest thing I've learned is confidence in my academic abilities. Oh my god. That was such a stretch. I pulled a muscle stretching for that. That was such a stretch. I didn't think I had the skills to be successful beyond high school, but now I know I can be successful if I put in the time and effort that is needed, and that's not a good sentence. Okay. Also, that thing at the end is so cringy. Here's the thing about this, like, I would not want to be one of the people who just like reads one of these because they're just so cringy. Like, oh my god, you could just tell I was like trying to be something that I'm not. I don't know. Describe the most significant challenge you have faced and the steps you've taken to overcome this challenge. How has this challenge affected your academic achievement? Ever since I started school, I've always struggled with being extremely shy. I remember seeing the words needs improvement and far below benchmark on the speaking and participation sections of elementary school progress reports. Just really go out there and say that you suck at talking to people, Zaya. That's gonna get you accepted into this very competitive school. Oh my god. I just realized somebody has actually read this and like consciously made the decision to reject me. That's sad. I would even have to present reports only to my teacher because when I would try and speak in front of the class, I would just end up crying. That's a lie. My teachers literally did not care. Like they would force me up there and just like let me cry. But go off. I never could understood. Oh my god, do I not know how to speak English? Why I struggled so badly with speaking to other people. The thoughts were organized in my head, but no matter how hard I tried, I could not seem to form them into a coherent sentence. You can't seem to form these into coherent sentences either. These are literally like the worst written things ever. As time went on, I knew that people were not always going to be so lenient with me and that eventually I'd be forced to talk in front of an audience with no alternative option. I knew that I would have to face that reality someday, so I tried making it a point to step a little more out of my comfort zone, a little bit at a time. I slowly began doing small things to help me, like reading out loud when called on or asking a question instead of keeping it in. Both of these examples are usually things people do not celebrate, but they're huge milestones with me. With continued exposure to speaking in front of people, I was finally able to gain enough confidence to do my first presentation in front of the class. It only took me until 8th grade, but I was pleased. I was really trying to not make myself seem like a star student here, and well, it worked because I got rejected. It seems like public speaking is something that I'm not going to be able to just escape from. I find myself having to do it at school, work, and pretty much any other activity I am involved in, but it is getting a whole lot easier for me. I still find myself struggling from time to time because of it, but I still work to continue through it instead of just giving up. Additional comments. I remember that when I met with my counselor, they basically told me that I had to put something here, and so my mindset when I quickly added this last minute was I wanted to slip in the fact that I was like a first generation college student. But other than that, I really didn't know what else to put here, so let's just read this. Being the first person in my family to even attempt to go to college. There it is, just right off the bat. I feel like doing this application was jumping straight into unknown waters, and I don't really know if I did any of it right. I really put that? I really said that I don't know if I did any of this application right. When I'm applying to very competitive schools, as a not great student, even if some areas of my application are not reflective of a typical STAR student, I try to keep it authentically me because I've had my fair share of struggles. But I feel like they have helped shape me into the person I am today. I literally talked about none of my struggles there. Like, I just made some fluff about like drawing and being shy, but like go off, like it's fine. Leaving those struggles out for a better shot at admissions would be an attempt to build my future on a foundation which is not my own. Well, I should have left those struggles out because I was rejected. Like what? My god. Whichever way this application process goes, I can at least say that I put myself out there to be evaluated by total strangers, which is something that I wouldn't have ever thought I would end up being confident enough to do. So thank you for your consideration and also for reading this lengthy and personal comment. 2 claps for you. I literally basically just told them reject my thing. Like, you shouldn't present rejection as an option. Like, sweetie, what did you do? Oh my god. I should have just left out the additional comments, first of all. And then I should have really redone these personal questions because they're not good. All right. That is basically a rundown of my rejected UC Santa Cruz application. Overall, looking back on it, I see why I was rejected. It just wasn't good. Those responses just weren't deep. I was just an average student who just tried to make themselves seem quirky, and it totally failed. I don't know what you're gonna get much out about this, but I did think I broke down my grades and stuff in the beginning. So thank you so much for watching. If you did like this video, make sure to go down there and hit that thumbs up, and also consider subscribing. I do post here every Tuesday and Friday. I do have my other video that I talked about where I did tell more of my story of being rejected, so if you do want to watch that, I will leave that linked at the end card. If you are part of the 98.4% of people who watch my videos and aren't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Okay, that's rude. You're being rude. Other than that, I'm gonna go now. I hope you have a wonderful day, night, whatever time it is when you're watching this. I hope to see you in the next video. All right, bye!